didn't thank you for coming. Thank you
Oh,
so
no,
much.
it's my pleasure. I feel honored to
we
come.
don't take it lightly.
My pleasure.
You know, when I spoke to my wife, she said, let's Yemi will come. I said, please go and beg her for
She's
us.
my big sister.
So
Everybody knows she's my big sister. In my house, my children will say, "Mommy, your best friend, Madam Azuka," because I'll come home and I'll be in the car receiving call, we're talking. Mommy.
All right, good evening, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be here. Welcome to the Chike Onyia Speaks show. My name is Chike Onyia, and I'm your host today. Let me tell you something about this show. The purpose of the show, the goal, is so simple. We change one life, one family at a time. There's 7 billion people on this planet. And if we can change just one life, you're listening from somewhere today, one family, we would have done our jobs on this show, right? I want to welcome you today if you're joining us from wherever you are. We're broadcasting from Lagos, Nigeria. And today I have a special guest on the show. In a moment, I'm going to let her introduce herself. I was just telling her earlier that she's like a sister to me, right? It's always a pleasure having family on the show. I consider her family, right? Today, let me tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about how professionals like our guest, how she's able to balance her professional life, her work life, her busy life, right? With raising a family, with family life. So that work-life balance, or what some people today would say is a work-life integration, right? I don't know, I'm not an expert in the area, and that's why I brought her to the show. Madam, good evening, and you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome to the show, huh?
Yeah.
All right, tell the audience your name. Let's start with your name.
Okay, my name is Yemi Gbeja.
Okay.
I'm the general manager in charge of business development and supply chain management at Oil and Gas. I've been doing this for 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
18 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So let's make sure the audience gets this right? So you are the general manager, the GM.
Yes.
That's a big position.
Big position.
So you're like a big in Nigeria. I don't know where you're joining in from. Are you joining from LA, New York, Maiduguri, Jos, Lagos? It doesn't matter where you're joining. Nairobi, Cameroon. In Nigeria, I would say she's like a big madam, right? Madam. She's a big madam in the office. A GM, Bell Oil and Gas is the company. And you said something about supply chain.
Okay, so supply chain management is procurement,
right?
Supply. We get oil field tools and equipment from everywhere in the world.
Right.
Ship them. Deliver them. Clear in Nigeria. Deliver them to our clients, our customers, like E&P companies like Shell, Chevron. We deliver it to them. That's supply chain management, managing that whole process of sourcing, you know, shipping and delivery of goods from anywhere in the world to Nigeria. That's what supply chain management is.
It's all about.
It's all about. End to end.
I get it.
I get the money for the company.
You're the money, you execute, you're the money. So the company named Bell Oil and Gas, an oil servicing company?
Yes, oil field servicing.
Oil field servicing. So you guys have clients like the IOCs,
yes,
the
Shell,
international oil companies, like Shell. And I think of what you've said for our audience, you source equipment.
Yes,
you know,
equipment and personnel.
You also source personnel for
procurement and services.
I get
the personnel that will do the job.
Okay. Human resources.
Specialized.
Okay. Engineers.
Okay. Trained, certified by OEMs. OEMs are original equipment manufacturers.
Okay.
So we do both procurement and services.
Wow.
Installation, commissioning of OEM equipment.
Okay. Yeah. In the rigs, maybe?
Yes.
Where they're drilling the oil?
Where they're drilling the oil.
Okay. So those are equipment. If they get bad, for example, they're going to...
it's going to affect...
It's going to affect production. Exploration and production of oil.
Yes, of oil.
Right. Crude, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. So she's a very busy woman. Are you a mother? Are you a wife? Tell us a bit about your personal life.
Okay. So when I say I do this for Better Than Gas, that's what I do.
Right.
But who I am...
Who you are?
I'm a parent.
Okay.
And I'm a wife.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
So I juggle the role of a mother and a wife with my career as a general manager with Bell Oil and Gas.
Bell Oil and Gas. Yes. So again, in the audience, we want to welcome you wherever you're joining in. My name is Chike Onyia. I'm your host today. I have Madam Yemi with me. What would you like me to call you today?
Yemi.
Yemi. Let's remove the madam.
I really don't like the madam.
That madam that we do in Nigeria. Madam.
Makes you feel old.
I like that. We're having fun on the show already. She's not old. We don't want to make her. I'm not old too.
I'm not old. I'm young.
You're still young. I like that. So listen, you're joining from wherever you are. We want to welcome you to the Chike Onyia Speaks live talk show. It is a live show, and you know, Yemi, on this show we have people listening to us from all over the world. Last time we had a call from New York. You know, people call from Owerri, Aba, Lagos, everywhere, Maiduguri, you know, Jos, etc. And today, there may be a mother out there who is listening to us and who is struggling a bit with managing her career and being a wife and also being a parent. So today, you're going to be speaking to one life. You're going to be speaking to one family. There could be a husband out there watching as well. Who's thinking, I wonder what this woman can advise, because I'm struggling to being a husband, and maybe I'm not able to engage with my children, the school run, the homework. You know, my wife seems to be doing all of that, and I'm feeling less of a father. So, you know, how do I, but I need to work and make money, so to pay the bills, right? So what do I do? And that's what Yemi is going to do with us tonight. She's going to be advising us based on her personal experience, based on your story, right? Okay, so let's shoot. Here's my first question. Tell us the struggles first. I want to know the struggles, the challenges you face trying to juggle, balance, integrate the GM role, procurement, you know, etc., supply chain management with just being a parent and a wife. And maybe you can tell us, how long have you been married? How many children do you have? You can share with us.
Okay, I've been married for 15 going on 16 years.
Okay.
I have 2 boys.
All right.
They're both teenagers now.
Oh, teenagers. How old?
15. My first son is going to be 15 next month.
Really?
Yes,
15? Wow. Okay.
And my younger son is going to be 13 in December.
13 in December.
So I have teenagers.
Wow. You got your hand full. Your hands are full, huh?
Yes, my hands are full.
My God.
So in terms of challenges,
yes,
I think the biggest challenge of juggling the role of a mother, parent with being a career person,
right,
for me is parenting. Now, I'm a wife and I'm a mother.
Correct.
The role of a mother is the most challenging role and the most important role that any woman can have, right? So being a wife, it's been easier for me to do because I have a supportive husband.
I get it.
However, being a parent, you can't delegate that. You can't delegate parenting. You have to be a mother, be present there for your kids, regardless of the work that you do. So the biggest challenge for me is parenting. And whilst my kids were younger, the challenges were, it was tougher.
I see.
But now it's easier because they're teenagers.
Okay.
You know, I remember then I did some crazy things. I've seen women who, because of family, have deferred their careers. You know, take a break
from their career,
just so that they can cater to family. But for people like us who dare, who take who have the audacity
audacity
to say I can be a parent and I can also, you know, excel in my career. We make a lot of sacrifices. When I give birth to my kids, what I do, I get back to work within 3 months.
I see.
Right?
Right.
In order not to feel guilty, because there's a guilt with you're leaving your kid at home.
Guilt.
Going to work.
Really? Women feel guilt?
Yes.
Wow. We need to explore that too, but
yes,
let me let you land.
What I do, I take my kids with me to work.
You took the kids to work?
Yes. So I don't take them to the office.
Okay.
I look for a creche close to my office.
I see.
Keep them. So you know what that means? It means I wake up very early.
Okay.
I have to wake up very early.
Okay.
Take care of the baby.
Sure.
Even though I get a nanny to help.
Okay.
You know, get the kid, you know, have a bath, dress them up, and then we start I drive. The baby is strapped at the back, and I drive to work with my baby to the creche.
Okay.
Drop the baby. I still do my 6 months exclusive breastfeeding as a mother. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's challenging.
I'm following you.
What I do, the lunch break at work is an hour.
Okay.
I dash to the creche.
The creche.
See my baby.
Okay.
Breastfeed if I want to, or just I would have expressed some breast milk, just feed the baby. So I don't. The baby doesn't miss me too much.
I get it.
So I do all that. We close it from work, and I take the baby back home. I do that till they're like, I think 6, 8 months. No, 1 year, 2 years, and they can go to school. Preschool and all
preschool.
That.
Yeah.
I did that for both
boys. Wow.
It was tough.
So let me get this. I want to make sure our audience they're understanding you. So the baby is about 3 months old.
Yes.
Because you've taken 3 months off work.
Yes.
Your maternity leave. Right.
Once
that leave is over, you're back to work. You take this 3-month-old baby with you. Yes. Drive to the creche, drop the baby.
Yes.
An hour into your break, you rush there, you do that. That's really,
and then
wow.
we go home.
You go home together?
Rinse and repeat every day.
Every day?
Every day we do that.
Wow.
And I mean, it really is. It's not as simple as I said it now.
Let me ask you a question about that. What if you have to work late? What if your boss says there's a meeting after hours? What if there's a report due and there's a customer, an IOC you need to present to your bidding and all that? I mean, you're obviously been in marketing for many years, supply chain. How did you reconcile that? How did you balance and integrate that?
So I just make a call to the creche. Please, I'm running late today. Can you, they offer the extended hours, so they're ambitious to have the baby longer than the agreed time, and I have to pay for it. So yeah, the work pays for that.
Yes.
So we pay for it, and I mean, we come late,
right?
Take the baby, and sometimes we feel guilty again as a mother. Oh, I'm late today.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick, because in the moment you're going to take a break and allow our audience warm up to us and start calling you, because I want to make this interactive. Okay. I want people to ask you, especially men out there, who ask you. So this guilt, why the guilt? I mean, you've given birth to this lovely child. God has allowed you to bring a human being in here. You're doing your best. You're trying to work to cater, to meet the needs of the baby, right? To get them the best things of life, put them in the best school.
Yes.
You want to take them. So where's that? And then you go that hour to the creche to breastfeed or whatever. You pick them up after you're going to. So where's that guilt coming from?
I think the guilt is from The societal expectations.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I mean, somebody may not get it, especially if they live maybe in the US.
In the
or
US,
somebody
they
in
not
Canada
understand,
is listening to you.
But in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, tell us about that.
Culture and the society expects you as a mother to be there for your child all the time. Some people will say, "Oh, you are irresponsible. You left your child for so long. You're going to work. The career woman, what's career? Leave the career and focus on the child." But there's a standard of life that you want to live.
I see.
Living on one income will not provide that.
The questions here, rather, I mean, we need to have Yemi define what we mean by balance, work-life balance. And then we're going to pick your brain as to whether there's anything like balance anyway.
Yeah.
And I've heard somebody say integration, work-life integration. I've heard, I'm doing some work for a company now, as a consultant. And in that company, they said there's nothing like work-life balance. Forget it. If you're going to work here, forget work-life balance. Because the kind of work we do here, we're always working. Yes. So work-life balance is a misnomer. It doesn't work. So you then have to decide whether you want to do that kind of work. Again, Chike Onyia is my name. I'm your host on the show today. This is Chike Onyia Speaks live talk show. I have my guest Yemi here. We're talking today about work-life balance, work-life integration. We're going to take a quick break, 60 seconds break. We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. Onyia is my name. I'm your host, and a warm good evening to you, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're joining from today. This is the Chike Onyia Speaks live talk show. On the show today, we have a very special guest, a sister, I would say. Her name is Yemi. She's a GM, a general manager at Bell Oil and Gas. It's an oil servicing company. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oil servicing company.
Oil servicing.
You guys do procurement. What else do you do?
Maintenance,
installation,
commissioning, manpower services.
Manpower. Okay. So you can see she's busy. And how long have you been doing that job as GM?
As GM for 3 years.
3 years, but total in terms of your career,
years,
18 years in the career in the business.
Yes.
And your first son is 15.
My first son
so
is
you
15.
had your son, you know, obviously, whilst you were working
Yes.
as a career woman.
Yes.
You started your career, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then your second son is 13 years old,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
2 boys, right?
2 boys.
Awesome. So, you know, we've been told that we had some audio problems, you know, and we understand that. With network and technology, sometimes it goes down. So we need to go back because the audience missed some of the things you said, and people want to really learn from you. So let's go back to the guilt issue.
Yes.
And you were saying that one reason you felt a bit of guilt, you mentioned societal expectations.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so the society expects you as a woman to be there for your family, for your child, your young child. I mean, a 3-month-old child. How dare you abandon the baby? You know, you should be there. Why are you chasing a career? You're a woman. I mean, stay at home and let your husband take care of you. But because I have a standard, I have an expectation of what I want for my family, for my kids. I want them to go to the best schools. I want the good life for them. And that can be done depending on the income from my husband alone. And so we have to, I mean, both contribute to achieving that standard. So I don't feel guilt because I know that the work I'm doing is so that they can have a better life.
I get it.
And so I'm trying my best to ensure that I do not miss out too much of my, you know, time with them.
Right.
So
right.
the fact that I left my baby in the creche for 6 hours is not enough to make me a bad mother.
Okay.
I'm the same person who woke up at 3 a.m. to have a bath for the baby, dress the baby up, took the baby with me to work, close to my office, to the creche, close to my office, take a break, a lunch break, still go. I still do 6 months exclusive breastfeeding.
Exclusive?
Yeah, exclusive.
Wow.
Even some sit-at-home moms don't do exclusive.
That's
but
true.
I did exclusive as a working mother.
Wow.
No baby food.
Wow.
Exclusive breastfeeding
Wow.
for my 2 children for 6 months. And I was working.
Wow.
So
you're a strong woman.
So if I can do it, anybody can do it. And so I got over the guilt because I knew I was giving my best. So
I want to summarize what you've said, particularly for our audience. Somebody's listening out there. You felt a bit of guilt. Let's be clear on that.
Yes.
That's an emotion. But to intelligently, you know, I talk a lot about emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
It's my area of expertise. So you practiced a bit of emotional intelligence there. So you experienced the emotions or the emotion of guilt. But you intelligently analyzed it. Number one, societal pressure and expectations. That's the reason why you're feeling the guilt, which is one thing emotionally intelligent people do very well.
Yeah.
They know why they feel certain things. But then to intelligently manage the guilt, you said, you know what? I'm the mother, the same mother who woke up in the morning, dressed the baby, breastfed the baby, took the baby to the creche, spend an hour there or whatever, take the baby home. So I'm doing my best. In addition, there's a particular lifestyle. I love it. That's for me, it's simply amazing. You want your children in the best schools.
Yes.
You want them to have you want them to have a better life.
A better life than me.
Isn't that what every parent wants?
That's what you want.
That their children do better, isn't?
Yes.
Right. So you said, I'll go to work. And you said something else. For men and women who are listening out there, I think this is very instructive, Yemi. You said, my husband's income, singular income,
it's not enough.
It's not going to be enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough. He's going to take care of everybody, and that you want them in the best schools in the world and all that. Maybe that one income is not going to be enough. So you said you're going to come in and contribute.
Yes.
You will contribute to the family income, right? That's excellent. Now let's before you well, maybe you should tell us that before we go to the phone lines. So we're talking about helping us understand balance.
Yes.
So tell us about that. Then we'll go to the phone lines and let's get our guests to engage you for a minute.
Okay, so I was saying, and we need to understand what do we mean by work-life balance? What is balance? You know, I checked the dictionary. I like to understand words.
Yes.
So I checked the dictionary for the meaning of balance, and two definitions stood out for me. One of them says it's when you comparing the value of one thing to the other.
Interesting.
Comparing the value of one thing to the other.
Really?
Yes. Then the second definition says, what did he say? Let me try.
Please check your phone. Please take your time.
A situation in which different elements are equal or in correct proportion. Different elements are equal or in correct proportion. So here we have your work.
Right.
And then you have your family.
Yes.
You're trying to put them in the right proportion because they can never be equal. Spending your time with family and time on work, how do you put it in the right proportion? You do that by determining the value of both.
I see. Okay.
So, which is of higher value to you?
Right.
Work or family?
Right.
That will help you in making decisions on how you juggle your time every day, because it's a continuous juggling. You don't achieve it. It's not a destination that you get to.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
Right.
You continuously try to do that integration of family life, your career, and in an harmonious way, such that you are happy, because the end for this is your own well-being as a person.
Not the society?
Not the society. Doesn't matter what society thinks. It's the well-being of your family, your mental health. Will I be happy if I have no money, but I'm with my kids? My kids are going to poor schools.
Wow.
And in my heart desire is for them to go to best schools. But because society expects me to spend 24 hours with my kids, I'm not happy. Am I achieving a work-life, whatever? Am I fulfilled?
In life.
In life. I won't be fulfilled because everyone has a dream of what they want.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Therefore,
absolutely.
Getting that balance, define the balance for yourself. It's a unique journey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's unique.
Unique to every individual. So achieving that harmony, you have to decide what is of value to you per time.
I get it. I hope the audience are tuning into what Yemi is saying. I love what she just said. She says this thing is unique. It's not something that you're going to let the general populace define. So let's go to the audience and really welcome them. The numbers to call: 091 6000 2661. That's one line. Or 091 6000 2662. Or you can call us on WhatsApp from anywhere in the world. Put the country code +234 91 6000 2663. Let's welcome people online. Patrick Ide says that's good. Lawal Ibrahim says good evening, sir. Maureen Ifoman Nekwe, good evening, everyone. Glad to be here. I'm trying to pronounce that name. Nicholas, I love the texture of your voice, sir. Halimat Lawal says good evening. So Yemi, they're welcoming you and I. They're enjoying the show. Mosi. I think culture can be very good, but sometimes very damaging. Right? Look at what it says.
Yeah.
Understanding that there's a difference. There's different ways to be a present. Yemi, go ahead and read that. Go ahead and read it.
Understanding that there's different ways to be a present parent or partner can help assuage some of whatever guilt may come, which is what I was talking about.
Okay. Hello, good evening. I think we have the first call. Good evening.
Yes. Good evening.
Yes. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Hello. I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay. We didn't get your name.
On fire this evening. The way she has analyzed work-life balance is just superb. It's brilliant. You know, the key thing is she has said is that balance is individualistic. You need to determine your own balance for yourself. Yeah. You know, and I just want to thank her for that awesome, definition.
We didn't get your name, ma'am.
Azuka from Lagos.
Oh, really? That sounds like my wife. Maybe. Thanks, honey, for calling all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. She says Yemi is on fire. You know, she likes that uniqueness that you've brought to this discussion. It's a unique journey, right? 091 6000 2661 or 091 6000 2662. Yvonne Anekwe says, I love how she has analyzed the word balance. This is an eye-opener, right? So you even went to the dictionary, Yemi, to go and look. You're a very intelligent person. So you did your research.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Oh, sorry, your network. Hello. Sorry, network. Can you try again? Try again. 091 6000 2661. Chike, that's my son from New York. He's listening.
Fantastic.
Topic is fantastic. I agree.
My husband.
Oh, your husband.
It's back.
It's back.
I think the thing was down.
Oh, okay. Your husband, is that him? Tell us his name.
His name is Yemi Gbeja.
Yemi Gbeja. So your son name is Gbeja. Yeah, Yemi Gbeja.
Yes.
Yemi Gbeja.
Yes.
And you guys have been married, you said, for almost what, 17 years now?
15 going on 16.
15 going on 16. Wow. It must be a great husband, isn't it?
Oh. There's no work-life balance without a supportive husband.
You know, that was one of my I scripted that question because I wanted to ask you, what is the role of the husband in helping the wife or the spouse in helping the individual integrate or balance this thing? What's the role?
There's no, I mean, for me,
yes.
I'm talking about my own experience. There's no work-life balance of integration if you don't, as a married person,
yes.
if your husband is not supportive or if your spouse is not supportive. For me, I've had a very, very supportive husband who is not waiting for me to get home and cook his meal. Or, you know, some men will say, oh, yeah, I cannot eat any food that is not cooked by my wife. I cannot do this and that. I cannot do that and that. There are male roles and female roles.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing like that. We're partners. I mean, if we need to get things done for the kids and I'm not available and he is, I mean, he does it willingly.
Nice.
So we both support each other. It supports my dream. I support his. And by the way, my husband is a pastor.
He's a pastor?
Yes.
Wow. Some would argue that's why he's so supportive.
Oh, no.
Because he's a pastor.
No, not necessarily. He's a good man.
Oh, he's a good man.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not about being a
he's
pastor.
First and foremost a good man.
A good man, yes.
Yes, I get it. Where did you guys meet?
We met in church.
Oh, in church.
We attended
Are you a
church.
pastor too?
Well, I'm not.
You're the pastor's wife. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
That's nice. So, 091 6000 2661. He says, look at what he says. Can you read what your husband said here?
As the first beneficiary of Yemi's ability to balance work and life, I must say she has done well.
As the first beneficiary.
He is the first beneficiary.
Oh, he's the first beneficiary.
Yes.
What does he mean by that? That he's the first beneficiary.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one that I live with. He's the one that enjoys all the benefits of me being a career person
Sure.
and then taking care of the home. Yeah.
Let me speculate on his behalf. One of the reasons why he considers himself a beneficiary is because he has a happy wife.
Yes.
He has a wife who feels fulfilled. He has a woman who is at peace with herself. Imagine if you were compelled, or society, you were to sit at home by society, or even your husband, which you would not do. You would not be a happy camper.
Yes.
And he will not get the best version of a Yemi.
Yes.
So he's the first beneficiary.
And a lot of women are in that position today, where they were compelled by society, by culture, by their husbands. I mean, forget about career and just focus on family. And in the end, a lot of them regret the position that they find themselves, because ultimately the kids that you're at home for will leave you. They leave. They go to school or they get married, and then you are now by yourself. And the years have gone by.
Oh, wow. You know, my wife and I are currently experiencing that.
At least you have a baby.
We started, in Los Angeles. We had Chike, right? Chike is 25 now. He's married. He's the one listening from New York. He's gone. Rema, she just graduated from Cornell. She's in JP Morgan Chase now. She just started JP. Rema is. I was telling my wife that look at my little Rema. Rema. Before you know, Rema will marry you.
Yes, now.
Then she's gone.
She's gone.
Chidera, our third child. You see, the guy is started freshman Notre Dame. Is doing an internship in Deloitte in New York now.
You see?
He's not even coming. He's not. This is summer.
He's not coming.
He's supposed to be home for summer.
He's not coming.
He said, "Daddy, mommy, maybe I come after my 7 weeks in Deloitte." He's not here. So there's only one more left here now. So what you're saying is that, in essence, and even your own two sons, after a while, they're going to transition out.
That's it. My boy, my first son, next year, will be going to the university. I mean, it's gone. And then he tells me, Mommy, you better treat me well now. I'll soon leave you. You know? You can see.
I'll soon leave you.
So why should I stop my own career and dream for them?
I get it. And then end up not being
happy and fulfilled.
Oh,
and they go on to have a happy and fulfilling life. And then I don't think a woman should be made to make such sacrifices.
Wow, brilliant, brilliant. 091-6000-2661, 091-6000-2662. If you're calling from outside Nigeria, +234 +234-91-6000-2663 are the numbers to call, right? So on the show today, Chike Onyia is my name. I am your host. We have a special guest, our sister Yemi, and we're talking today about work-life integration. You know, I want to make sure I exhaust my questions here. We have a list of questions for you here. And, you know, I want to ask you, have you had any unexpected situations that have arisen, either at work or in family, that, you know, jeopardized the other? Have you, or potentially, let's just say jeopardized, potentially could have jeopardized the other if you didn't manage it well? Because sometimes, you know, what happens is that you have great intentions to balance the two. You have great intentions to integrate. But there comes a time where one or the other seems to be taking over to the detriment, potentially, of the other. So has there been a time, and there may be a woman or a man out there dealing with that now, and maybe you can talk about that just quickly and maybe give some counsel or some advice on that.
Okay, yes, I mean, it happens all the time where something is happening at work that is very important, and then something is calling my attention at home that I have to attend to. A lot of times, because like I said, what is of more importance to you? Is it family? Is it work? So that determines the decision that you take as such.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
For me, family is more important.
Sure.
So if it's something that I'm not able to delegate,
right,
I would have to take permission from work to say, look, I can't attend to this right now.
I get it.
And this is the reason.
I get it.
And I mean, fortunately, I work in a company where the owners are understanding. They also are family people.
Sure.
So they know that family is important.
Right, right.
But in a case where, I mean, my husband can cover for me, he comes in to cover for me, and then maybe I do the work.
Right.
Where he can't cover and I can't delegate, I mean, I have to just do the family one.
So two things you've said. First, your supportive husband. Then you even have a company where the leaders are understanding.
Very understanding.
And that takes me to another question, which means that, you know, well, let's look at the comments here. Yemi, do you see the comments?
Yes.
Go ahead. You can give us the names.
Alimat Lawal says a lot of women's potential is hidden.
Okay.
Menora Martin says absolutely. I don't know what.
Okay.
The Alimat said a woman must be able to add value to herself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe she's talking about what you're saying.
What I said, yes.
You know, you've not built your career, you've not added value to yourself, and then the children live. You have an empty nest.
You have, empty nest, and you have nothing to do. You are full of regrets.
And you know, some women, Yemi, you know what happens? They end up despising their husbands.
You're right.
Because, you know, I do this for a living. I mean, we counsel a lot of married couples, and, you know, they end up despising the husband.
Not just the husband, even the kids. I've seen mothers.
Oh, they despise the kids.
Despise their kids.
Really? Tell us about that.
Yes. I've seen mothers, after the kids get married or just leave the home, and they are now alone, they expect that the kids would remember the sacrifices they made for them, the mother made for them, and therefore prioritize them over their wives. Especially if you have
a boy. Yeah.
That's an unrealistic expectation. Your child, your son cannot prioritize you, the mother, regardless of the sacrifices you made, over his wife. You are just setting up yourself for failure. So they're heartbroken that my son, after everything I did, now he's gone. You're just focusing on his own family, and they resent their kids for it.
And their daughters-in-law.
And their daughters-in-law. Thank you. Daughters-in-law now get the brunt. Since the mother cannot do something bad to the son, the daughters-in-law gets the brunt. And you see, you try to take it out on them. Do you know what I suffered for him? Where were you when I was doing this? Where were you when I was doing that? I'm all that. That's causing problems between the daughter-in-law and the son, because, I mean, your dreams and your hopes all dashed. You had nothing, no achievements, because you invested everything in your kids. I mean, no woman should do that. No woman should do that. It is possible for a woman to have career and build a home. Very possible.
At the same time.
Yes. In a healthy way.
In a healthy way.
So you feel fulfilled.
Right.
And the family is also
doing
well. It's very possible.
So let me humor you. Okay, Halimat, you want to read that? Yeah.
Halimat says, "Good evening, sir. I would love to thank Ma for gracing us with her presence. It's been wonderful. Truly, it's kind of easier for a man to balance family and work, but harder for women, especially one who also wants to hold crucial parts in our kids' lives. My question for Ma is that, how do you protect your mental health as a woman balancing family and work?" This is Halimat from Lagos. I called but had bad network. So how do you protect your mental health? That is the crux of the matter. You, as a person, your fulfillment is the most important in deciding how to balance family and work. You must take your own mental health, your fulfillment, you know, very, very important. Never feel guilty prioritizing yourself and your mental health over work and family sometimes. Because if you are not, your well-being is in jeopardy, you can't deliver as a mother, neither can you deliver as a worker. So it's important that you know what is valuable to you.
Okay.
So that's the guiding principle, the compass.
Right.
What's valuable to me per time.
Right.
So if my employer is demanding extended long hours of work from me, and I have to go home to kids and husband waiting for me to do things, I mean, you have the right to speak up, rather than internalize and bear the weight of the stress of work and family. Right. I mean, speak up.
Speak up to who?
Speak up to your employer if the employer is demanding, very difficult timelines from you. Speak to your husband if the pressure at home is too much as well. Right. Get the necessary help. I have a working system at home that supports me. Right. The reason why you're working is so that you have money to buy the things that you cannot do yourself. Right. Get a nanny. Right. Get helps. Right. I mean, domestic care. Right. Your husband is there to help. At work, speak to your line manager, speak to your upline, tell them what you're facing. Oh, I need more flexible work hours. I need more time for family. Right. Rather than just bottle it all up and trying to be superwoman, to be 100% present in your children's life and 100% present at work. It's not possible. It's not going to work. Yeah.
You know, there may be a woman there just listening to us. We're going to take a break in a minute, right? But there may be a woman listening who is not married yet. Let's even talk about that.
Okay.
She's not married. She's dating somebody. And she's a career person. She loves her career. She wants to be like you. I want to end up having the nice things of life, send my children to the best school. I want the support. What would you advise her to be looking for in the qualities that are desirable in that man that will align with her vision for her life to balance work out? What should she be looking for in that man?
She needs to be sure that the man appreciates a woman who wants to build a career. Not all men want a woman who wants to build a career. They want their wife to stay at home. So do you want a career woman or not? Yes. If the man wants a career woman, Is he supportive of your dreams? Is he ready to make sacrifices for you so that you can achieve your dreams?
Right.
And then what role is the mother or the family playing in his life? Does he the
mother of the man now.
The mother of the man.
Yeah.
Mother, especially. Is he a yes man?
To the mom?
To the mom.
Okay.
Anything my mom says is what goes.
Yeah, right.
So you're going to have a very, very difficult time if the man, I mean, says defers to the mom all the time for everything, because our mothers the tendency is that they're more. That societal expectation and culture of a woman should stay at home.
Yeah.
When I had you, I was at home. Your father, when he comes back from work, his food is on the table.
Yeah, even your gesture self.
I mean, you cannot sell these girls that they cannot take care of children, cannot bath children well. You cannot, you won't. You're
gonna have some issues.
Yes. So,
all right, guys, thanks. It's time for a break. If you're just watching and joining from anywhere, it doesn't matter where you're joining from. I want to thank you. So far, so good. This is the Chike Onyia Speaks live talk show. I am Chike Onyia. I'm your guest. We have a special guest in the studio, Yemi. We're going to take a break, a 60 seconds break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Back, the Chike Onyia Speaks live talk show. Today on the show, we're talking about balancing or integrating work and life, right? Your career as a person, as a professional, as a woman, a man, and also your marriage, your children, your family. Here's a question for you, Yemi. And our guest today is a career woman. She's a general manager, a company called Bell Oil and Gas, an oil servicing company. And they do a lot of stuff in the oil and gas sector. Now, what about your children? You know, you have a 15-year-old boy, and what do you think the role is that parents play in preparing their children for this idea of work-life integration, work-life balance? What can parents do as children get older and are ready to depart from the house and get married, get into the work and all that? And I'll give you an example with my own daughter. Maybe you can also, your son is 15. My daughter is 21, Rema. She just graduated from Cornell University. And Rema interned in JP Morgan, New York, second, third. They offered her a job. So she just graduated in May and started her work this June. And she's an analyst in their investment banking unit. Investment bankers work long hours.
Yeah.
Right, very long hours. And she's a girl, right? She's a lady. She's not a girl anymore. She's 21. Rema, I'm sorry. If she's listening now, she's going to say like, Daddy, you must be kidding. Who's a girl, man? Anyway, so your son, my daughter, they'll go into the workforce. They're already there. What advice should parents be giving their children? There's another question for you here, but you know,
Let me answer this one,
you want to answer this one first?
Yeah.
Children, go ahead.
Okay, so I think the best advice is the life that I live every day. I mean, I'm a role model to them of
Wow.
what it means
Wow.
to have a work-life balance. And I had an example in my mother. My mother was a career woman. She worked in oil and gas.
Oh, really? So you just followed her footsteps?
Yeah. My dad was in oil and gas too.
No wonder.
So I saw my mom wake up every day at 4 a.m., get ready to go to work. We had nannies. I'm living the life that she lived. You see that? The same thing I did.
I get it.
She would go to work. She had four of us, trained 4 of us, and she was working. She retired at, over 60 and got a very good pay. When she retired from an IOC, International Oil Company,
yeah,
I saw how much she was paid.
Gratuity.
The gratuity and the lifetime health care that she's getting from the company, right? So if my mother is sick today, I don't need to pay anything. The company pays. Any hospital of her choice.
Really?
Yes, that company she worked for pays. Do you understand?
I do.
I saw this. So tell me why I would not want to live that kind of a life. She was my role model. She is my role model. So the same thing I'm doing for my kids. It's not about what I say, it's about what I do. They see me live this life. They can see, oh, mommy works. Because of that, we are able to do this, we're able to do that. And I say to them, do you know the reason why you are able to afford this? Can you see these people on the road, these children on the road? What makes you better than them? You see these ones that are going to this sort of school. Why are they going to that kind of school? We see maybe extended family members or that are not of the same,
Yeah.
This is the reason why.
Right.
So they can connect the dots.
I get it.
It's because mommy is working, daddy is working, we are providing joint income, we're able to do this. Therefore, you also, you work, your wife must work.
The wife must work.
Yes, don't marry a woman and say sit down at home. You can't do it. Where did you learn that from? Where?
Really?
You didn't learn that from anywhere. So you work, you can balance, you can have that integration, that harmonious. They see it's not like I'm at home and, oh, mommy is not happy. When she gets back from work, she's sick. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I have my weekends to myself. And I'm working. And I have time, I spend time with them.
Right,
So we can have family vacations.
Right.
We can go out for buffet, on Sundays, weekends, you can do you understand? They can see that she's working and she's doing all of this.
She's able to do all of this.
She's able to do all of this. It's possible. So why do I need to sit at home
I get it.
and not work?
I get it. So let's go over here. Oh, there was I think it's off now. Did you catch that question? If we put it back on, let's see what...
I think the person was asking when's the best time to marry. Yeah.
The best time?
Yeah. Question from Ms. Yemi Gbeja. Please, when is the right time to start having kids for a newly married couple that are career people? I don't think there's...
And the next person is my son. He says,
I
need the answer to that question because he's he's right there.
I think you should do that as soon as possible because there is never a best time. There is never a best time. I got married and had my first child a year after, and I told you what I did.
Right.
Get a creche. You have to build the systems around you that will enable you to be able to have that time for your family and for your work.
Right.
It's about systems.
Yeah.
A supportive husband, a supportive nannies, daycare, and all of that.
Right.
And you being very, hardworking yourself.
Right.
Not lazy.
Right.
Having a supportive spouse. All of that.
Those things are important.
Is important.
Yeah.
To enable you achieve that harmony that we're talking about.
And the attendant emotion of guilt that women out there may face, you have addressed it.
I've addressed it. There's no
you have
need
addressed
to be
guilt.
guilty.
Yes, that mental health as well. You know, it's a guilt. Start feeling guilty.
Yes.
Some mothers may get depressed because of that. You know, and you see
you don't need to
all
feel
kinds of
guilt.
emotional issues. You know, right. Okay.
So it's never Chike. It's never too early. You can do it now.
Yeah, my son and his wife, they're trying to figure out. You know, so look, what is he saying here? Agbo Kenechi says you should be with someone who understands your dreams as important as his as well. So the key is having a work-life balance as a woman. So you're talking about husband and wife, man and woman who have, you know, supporting each other. They both have dreams. They're aspirational. They want careers that are thriving.
Yes.
So you don't go and marry somebody who has a view that is contrary to yours. They're not career-driven.
Exactly.
They're not as, you know what I'm saying? They're not on fire the way you are. They're not as ambitious. You used one of my favorite words, audacity.
Yes.
You said you had the audacity. You took that bull. And Yemi, you look like it. You sound like you audacity.
Do you know the meaning of my name?
Which one, Yemi?
Gbeja.
Gbeja.
Oh, even the sound of that name.
Gbeja self.
You see, my maiden name is also Gbeja for my husband.
Yes.
But my maiden name is Balogun.
Balogun.
Chief of the warriors.
So Balogun.
Yeah, warrior. We have audacity. In my family, we are audacious. My mom is audacious. She lived the life. I saw it. My grandparents, my grandmom, she was a businesswoman, audacious. She did it. So, and then I married a Gbeja. Gbeja means a defender.
So you now have a warrior, then a defender. You can't lose now.
I cannot slack. It's not possible. I can't slack. So I have it in me to be audacious.
Oh my God, great topic. You know, Chike says, as a son, I think Auntie Yemi is completely correct here. Nothing more inspiring than when I saw my parents live out the lessons they were teaching me. Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, just leave it out.
You know, it's funny that my son writes that, Yemi, and we're going to start wrapping up the show. You know, before he got married, he and I were taking a walk in our estate here, and one day he said to me, Daddy, you don't need to really sit me down and teach me how to be married.
Oh, I've seen you.
You don't need. I've just watched you for the number of years you've been married to my mom, and I don't need any theoretical lessons. I've watched you.
Wow.
I've watched the way you carry my mother like a queen, the way you treat her, the way you talk about her, everywhere, the way you celebrate my mom everywhere.
I knew your wife before I met her. I
told you did?
Sharing life issues with Charles B.
Oh, wow.
You were on that show for many years. And then I'm like, my name is Chike Onyia. My wife Azuka. She did this and that. I knew your wife Azuka. So when she got to Bellon and Gas, and she introduced herself as Azuka Onyia, is this the Azuka I've been hearing on radio about? I said, sorry, madam, is your husband Chike Onyia? I didn't know you. You spoke about it. So when it says he has seen you leave it, and that's the truth. That's the best example that you can give your kids. Leave it out.
Absolutely. Awesome. What a great show it has been. Yemi, thank you so much. I want to make sure that, you know, the team, we had questions here. Let's make sure we're going to be a bit clinical here. Right? So you've defined a healthy balance between work and family. You've told us about that. How to strike that balance. You've talked about your biggest challenges in juggling the two. How has becoming a parent affected your work-life balance? So let's talk about that quickly. Before you were a mom and you were just a wife, tell us the difference between that and then when you became a mom in terms of balancing work.
The difference is changing priorities. So as a wife, my priority was work and my husband.
Yes.
I mean, he was very supportive. It was quite easy. And that's why I said the most challenging part of this is being a parent. So when the parent part came in, I mean, priorities changed. You have to keep adjusting the priorities per time. And that is why it's unique to you. It has to be within your own context. The values you've placed on work and the family. One last question before we close. And I think it's a very important question. I think we should end this here. You know, you are a parent. God allowed you to carry these two boys, beautiful boys. You brought them to planet Earth. Do you know that some parents sometimes, because of their work, miss out on the opportunity to truly parent their children? And what happens is that
They've made all that money. They've been so successful. And that's why I guess we call it work-life balance.
Yeah.
Work-life integration.
Yes.
And they've made all this money. I've heard stories. I heard a story of a very wealthy man on his deathbed. A true story. He was lamenting. Maybe the children had gone into drugs. They were in therapy. The guy who had money. But on his deathbed, he was lamenting. And he says, I would trade all this money. My first son is in therapy, he's in drug rehab. My other son is here, or whatever. Billionaire. And he felt terrible. That's your husband there. We need to get that. Let's make sure we honor him, right? So forget what I'm saying. Now the man is talking, so we need to honor.
There are situations where great understanding is required between the husband and wife. Once they can get that synergy, the challenges of work and life become opportunities to experience victory. Victory. Yes.
The husband is very, well, he's a pastor. He speaks
pastor.
like a,
There's
there's wisdom.
Yes.
He speaks, you're right. So he's talking about that understanding, which you have stressed a lot, husband and wife. But I want to go back and pick your brain as we close here. We have 1 minute to go. What would you say to that parent today who is not balancing work with the parenting duties and may end up regretting achieving all this wealth, but end up regretting? You spend that money sending those children to therapy. In the US today, a lot of you may send kids to therapy. You've seen psychologists, psychiatrists. There's a lot of therapy. Kids who, right? In Nigeria, we don't talk much about it, but the truth be told is that a lot of children may end up needing that therapy because their parents were nowhere to be found. They were chasing all this, right? So what would you advise as we close? What would you advise this parent out there who's listening and who is struggling with that?
What I would say to that parent out there is you need to go back and reevaluate your values. You need to go back and reevaluate what is important to you, how you want to end your life. When you're 70, 80, what do you want? And I mean, compare the life you're living now to what you want. Do you think the outcome will be what you want? Your work can sack you. Oil and gas can give me sack later and say, Yemi, don't work with us again. My husband, my children, they will always be there. And if I have spent all my time focusing on building career at the detriment of my kids and my husband, there will be nobody there to help when the work says turns their back on me. So I will say to that person, always prioritize family over work. That's the order of things. I defined balance earlier. I said it is comparing two things of the different values and also ensuring that there is the correct proportion. So the right proportion of time to spend between family and work, the higher proportion must always go to family.
Must go to family.
Yes, always.
Wow.
Always.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great time. Do we have somebody else here trying to? Okay, Theodora Nicole. You said parents should set themselves as examples, right? What's your advice to people who grew up with single mothers who struggled with work-life balance or were not inspired
by it,
but rather scared? They're scared.
That's a deep question. So if you grew up with a single parent, who struggled? Okay, the single mother struggled with work-life balance, so they didn't have a role model in their mothers.
Exactly. So they didn't have this thing your sons have, and you had in your mom.
And I had in my mom.
Yes, your mom wasn't a single parent.
She wasn't a single parent. So if you have a single mother who is not a role model, you're hearing me now. You can work on it. Don't be what your parents were. And that is why you must look for mentors. Or that embody the kind of life that you want and learn from them. So I say, oh, my mom did this and that. It wasn't like we had a perfect family. My mom was my role model. I didn't say my dad was. And that's a story for another day. My dad wasn't my role model. My mom is my role model. So I could have looked at my dad and say, oh, my dad
right.
did not, therefore I will be this way. But I chose the best part, my mom. So the same thing, if your mom, there's no dad and your mom is not living up to, do you have an auntie, uncle, brother, sister, colleague? I mean, your mentors, people you haven't met before, you can make them mentors. It's about defining the kind of life you want for yourself.
Absolutely.
And looking for that person that represents that life.
Right.
And learn from them.
It's a fantastic idea. I want to drop this as well. For her, in addition to what you've said, I talk about resilience a lot. And in life, we all go through problems. Life is never perfect. Listen to me very carefully. It doesn't matter what you've gone through. Yes, it's painful. You will cry. You were raised by a single mom. But can I say this to you? You can learn deep lessons from your pain. And you can choose to rewrite the narrative of that family. You can say it ends here forever and ever. Moving forward, there'll be no single parent ever in my family raising any child. I'm not going to be a single parent because I want my children to enjoy both parents in the house. And I'm going to learn from what Yemi has said today. And I'm going to turn the leaf and make sure in generations to come, we shut down this issue. It will never happen. And that's what resilient people do. They take their pain and they turn their pain to greatness. On that note, I want to say good night. Thank you so much from around the world. Thank you. The callers who called in, my lovely wife Azuka called in. We had a lot of people, writing us on social media. Thank you so much. And Yemi, thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure. I've learned so much from you today.
It's been a wonderful time chatting with you.
Just chatting, the banter.
Chatting.
Yes, and we want to especially thank your husband, for contributing. We also want to thank him for being an awesome husband to support you, right?
Yes.
Because from what you've said tonight, it appears that you may not have been able to successfully balance or integrate work and life without your husband.
It doesn't appear. I would not have been able to.
You wanna clarify unequivocally. There's no way you couldn't have done it. So kudos to your husband. Thank you so much, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good night from Lagos, Nigeria. We'll see you next Friday, same time, West African time, 7 p.m. This is the Chike Onyia Speaks live talk show. My name is Chike Onyia. I am your host. We'll see you next week, and God bless you.
Wow.